Postman P.
I like it.
You did. So we're going to answer some of the questions that you guys have submitted. A lot of the questions were how we started with this podcast and where did it come about. We've answered it on previous episodes, but they want to hear it again. So, Jackie, I've said my version of it. Let's hear your version of it, Dow, after your version, and I'll kind of wrap up how this started.
Basically, just being great friends, having great energy always around each other. Dallas came up with the idea a long time ago for P to do a podcast because, all these other NBA players is doing podcasts. P, was like, oh, if we can find the hookup, find the outcome of how to do it, we'll do it, blah, blah, blah. They came together. It was just them, to be honest, at one point, just him and Dallas. And they said they needed somebody funny out the crew. And P hit me up and was like, yo, Bunky, if we do a podcast, would you be on the show with us? I said, come on. Hell yeah, you P. You know what I'm saying? You my boy. And literally, that's how it happened on my side. I just knew Dallas was the one who came up with the idea and shit. And P agreed with him about podcasts. I don't know about this. Dallas came up with the name Podcast P. When we was coming up, we had a million names. But at the end of the day, it really just came because friends that love each other and come up with good ideas and you make shit happen.
Bunky.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it started off just us playing video games, and P, got into streaming, and a lot of these other athletes, were doing podcasts. And I think P, which I think the audience could agree with this, you're great at podcasting. You're well-spoken. You can speak to all different walks of life. And so, yeah, it just kind of came from us playing on the games and like, hey, let's just do our own and let's just see how it does. You know what I mean? We really didn't have any crazy expectations, I would say, getting into this. And, P gave both of us the opportunity to do this. So, P, thank you.
Thank you, P.
We should thank you more, but that's, and now we're here.
Yeah, I mean, no lies told there, fellas. I mean, that definitely how it came about. You were the one kind of, like, I had the idea of wanting to do this, but like you put the battery into making this happen. Like, P, you should have your own pod. I'm like, all right, like that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we did that. It was me and you initially, and I'm like, man, because we were looking for a third. Like, I didn't want to talk to just you. You know what I mean?
That's an unattractive conversation.
Yeah. So we needed, I thought we needed something else. And I was like, I hit YT like, man, see if Jackie have any interest of joining us on the pod. And he was like, yeah, Jackie said he's in. And that's so I think I hit you like, yo, yeah. you down?
I said, hell yeah.
Yeah, he said, hell yeah, let's do it. So that's, for the fans, the audience, that's how Podcast P came about. But can we give the backstory? It was originally going to be with someone else.
Yeah, we had an audition,
Thank
y'all.
you, P.
Yeah.
Just open up the gates. So how it all happened was...
Yeah, explain how it almost just became...
You heard the backstory. You guys heard the story on our idea about doing a podcast. And so, when we were, getting ready to come to the studio, we thought it was kind of a done deal already. And then out of nowhere, me and Jackie start hearing about somebody else that might be doing the podcast with P. And we were like, bro, me and Jackie basically had an audition to do the podcast. And true story, and I did tell him this, and this is just my personal opinion about it, but, Paul asked like, hey, do you think you'll be good at it? And truth be told, I was like, I don't know. Like, we've never done podcasts before. This is all new. Yeah. If anybody, Jackie has the experience of being in front of the camera. Paul even has experience being in front of the camera, not podcasting. I'm sitting here like, man, I don't know. But we got to watch both of the podcasts with the pod P did with the other individual. And then I got to watch ours. And all I said to you was, if it's not me, I don't think it should be him, just based on looking at it. I said, I don't think it fits you. I just don't think you're going to be comfortable. But, you know, Jackie can touch on it a little bit more, but me and Jackie were texting each other like, bro, there's no way. Jackie like, I'm not talking to Pete ever. If we don't. Jackie was going off. I'm like, well, bro, don't go too crazy. Like, he's got to do his best for him, and you know. But I think it's safe to say you made the right decision.
Yeah, absolutely. What was your take?
I was just, fuck you, Pete. If anything. That was my answer. At the end of the day, I said, hey, Dallas, man, look, this is a part of this business, and this is what this business is. At the end of the day, it's on P.
Yeah.
And if it is what it is, fuck you, P. You know, that would have been the name of our show. Fuck you, P. But at the end of the day, you know, God always put, you know, things that happen for a reason, and this happened for a reason, and it is what it is today, and we made it what it is. So there's no turning back now at this point, you know. And shout out to the other dude who actually auditioned with P.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's somebody who's great. So, you know, shout out to him, and you know, we here, man. It's Podcast P, man.
There you go. We also have a question from _Brendan Silver. He wanted to know, what are some of our favorite moments and times of hanging out with each other?
You answer this one.
Some of my favorite moments, obviously, when I got married, my wedding, having you guys come down to Italy. We had a blast. We met who was that? Italy Jackie or Jackie J.I.? Jackie Italy?
Jack Italy.
We met J.I.
I had my toes out everywhere.
He had his toes out everywhere. He took on a new persona. Like,
He did.
He was J.I.
I was really J.I. It was a lovely experience, man. First of all, just to see you getting married, which was a beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying? And to see that out in just another country was just amazing.
Yeah.
Y'all had it off the chain, man. It was like, I gotta find a woman sooner or later and get married my damn self. That shit was so nice. But it was just fun, man. It just made me be around you guys because it was so, like, it's like being around family with you guys. It's never nobody's better than nobody. Nobody's out to, everybody always shows love when we around. Like, I mean, we like literally brothers. We don't care what skin color you are. We all brothers. And we have fun to the end, man. And
I will say that. Like, every time it's instant laughs.
It's
like
fun.
Every time we together, it's instant laughs. Another great one was you came when we went to Indiana. That summer we went to Indiana and we was like riding the jet skis and fishing and stuff.
I came a few times. But I remember,
was you there?
I don't think I came to the party one.
Well, my Uncle Jeff came.
Uncle Jeff he was a show. He was a show. We went jet skiing. We did.
That was the birth of YTT.
Fishing. Yeah. Yep. Everybody.
Shout out Uncle Jeff, man.
His cousin, the barbershop Davion. He was out there with us. Ryan. We was out there. We had a ball, man.
No,
that's when we really got close.
Yeah.
So that's
after that trip.
That's when we like bonded.
The best memory though with us has to be the Europe trip.
Hands down.
It's hard to talk about if you weren't there.
Bunky didn't make this one.
YT didn't even make it. YT couldn't get off work, but
it was our first time to Europe.
That was
a blast. From that point on, that established like, all right, we got to come to Europe every summer, and we did. Since other than COVID,
bro.
I don't like talking about stuff that I wasn't doing. I just don't. But somebody else, Pete, B Cordial said PG is low key nice with the impersonations, and I want to know from Dallas, who do you think do the best impersonation of?
I think it's
and how would you rate PG's
I think his best impersonation is probably the Snowfall guy, Franklin.
Oh, Franklin.
And the uncle. He gets into character on that one. Yeah. We'd be on the games nonstop. That's the only voice that I hear.
I'm going to say Barkley. Charles Barkley.
Nah, the Franklin one is. I ain't watched Snowfall.
Can we get both of them?
Can we get it again? The full one?
Can we get both of them now?
I can't even think of any Snowfall.
Bodies.
Oh yeah, bodies.
Give us that scene right now.
I can't remember. You put me on the spot, dog.
Give us Charles then. We know you got Charles.
Jackie, to think about it, let me tell you. See, back when I played, you almost had to chuck a guy when he got hot or fouled him and put him on his ass. But these guys now are just too soft.
That's a good one.
He's good at it.
He's good at it. Troy got me crying.
Let me. I forget Franklin lines, man. I used to have Franklin down though.
There's nobody else that you can do?
I feel like I'm great with impersonation.
Kawhi
He did that one a lot today.
That's I love Kawhi too. That's a funny
I feel like
one.
I'm good at. I've been pretty good at impersonating people.
You good at
You can't just put me on the spot though, because then now I'm gonna forget everything.
Let's go do it again. With Kawhi.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it.
Hey, we had a good time. We did a little workout in San Diego.
With the team just recently?
Me, Y, yeah, a couple of the guys, me, Y, Russ, a couple of the guys went down there to San Diego and we got a little work in. And YT was YT was jumping in the workouts to like help us with our shooting and stuff, like, you know, contesting and putting a hand up. We missed a couple shots, so you know, of course, YT going crazy, like, ha, told y'all, ha, locking y'all up. So Y, he on Y now. Y misses. It's not you, it's me.
It's not you.
It's not me. You. That's all me.
You gotta love him.
I love dog, man. He funny. Funny dude, man. Good dude.
Our next question comes from Nicholas Brown 7586, and it says, "Yo, PG, what hobbies or new ventures are you going into after finishing with basketball?"
It'd be something outdoors. You know, I got quite a few things going on outside of basketball when it's all done, and I'm lacing them up, or I'm unlacing them and hanging them up. But you know, I definitely want to get a little bit more involved in golfing. I definitely see that in my future, playing a lot more, playing different courses, actually traveling to play golf. I think it's kind of checking off two boxes. Definitely fishing, getting back into fishing. I haven't fished in as much as I wanted to, but everybody knows I love fishing. And then, you know, I think from a business standpoint, it's getting involved in, you know, the gaming industry. I'm heavily involved in it now. So when I'm done with actual basketball, I got a few seeds planted in the gaming industry. So be on the lookout for that from your boy.
Our next question is from Surf4322. He asks, what advice would you give to people aspiring to be NBA players that haven't made much of a name for themselves?
I shared this recently with some of the guys when I was down in Fresno, right? I think like you have to see yourself, you have to have a vision of how you want to be first.
Right.
And what I mean by that is like you have to envision yourself being a great shooter if you want to be a shooter. Like you're not going to become a great shooter if you don't think you can become a great shooter yourself. So first and foremost, you have to have a vision of what kind of player and how good of a player you want to be. And then you have to work towards that one thing at a time. Take one step at a time on making that a reality. So like if, again, you want to be a great shooter, work on your catch and shoots, work on your dribble pull-ups, work on, you know, catching the ball low, work on catching the ball high. Like you can make all of this stuff to help you become a better shooter if that's how you see your game. Like if you don't see yourself, if you see yourself being more of an attacker and a, you know, a finisher at the rim, like, well, okay, you need to start working on finishing and all this stuff. Like that's how you see yourself. So I think that's where kids and people in general get it mixed up. Like they say they want to be great. They say they want to be good. They say they want to be successful, but they don't see themselves being great. They don't see themselves being successful. They don't see themselves performing at a high level. Like you got to vision yourself. Like and to this day, I think that's why I am where I am, is because I saw this for myself. Like, you know what I mean? I saw myself being a great basketball player. Like as a kid, I can picture myself hitting game winners. I can picture myself being an all-star. Like I can picture myself, you know, I haven't won a championship yet, but I pictured myself winning championships. Like I had vivid memories of this. And so when I get in the gym, it's like, all right, I know what and how I look doing it. Now let's just work at it and get to it.
Kids,
so that's,
rewind the tape.
That's my advice to kids.
Rewind the tape on this part. Rewind it. Rewind it, pause it, take notes, rewind it.
The next question comes from Johnny Yeet.
Yeet. Johnny Yeet. We like Yanni Yee.
Who would you consider your best friend in the NBA? Like, not necessarily a teammate, but someone who is always there for you and you can reach out to with any questions.
I mean, I got a few, man. I got a few guys that genuinely just, mad love for. My dogs, brothers, Reggie, of course, everybody knows that's my dog. That's, guy I could call anytime, hit up anytime. Like true brother right there. Karl Anthony Towns, true brother right there. But I rock with so many dudes in the league, man, that I can call like my homie, my dog from Y, Russ, guys I played with, George Hill, Roy Hibbert, just, dudes that I just built great relationships with that's beyond basketball. But to say like best friend, like probably Reggie and Karl. Karl's like little brother, so it's not even a friendship. It's a big bro, little brother relationship.
What is that like when you are a big bro to somebody in the NBA?
I mean, it's just someone that, like in our situation, Karl knows he can come to me with anything, questions, ideas, or just shooting the shit. Like Karl knows my phone is always available. And, we recently just went on vacation together and spent, a week out in Europe with our ladies. And, that's my guy. Like, that's my guy. And for every player, like, obviously when they first come into the league, they, gravitate who they gravitate to. But as a veteran player, you always lend that veteranship out to whoever wants to take it. And some guys take up on that. And I think with what happened with me and Karl took up on that. He saw, how I moved. He saw how I worked out. He saw, my lifestyle, having a chef, put what I'm putting in my body, how I, enjoy life, and so I feel like he saw everything that I was doing and what was working for me and how he can incorporate that into what he was trying to do in his future. And through that, we just, I feel like there was a trust that was formed that he knows, like, okay, I rock with this dude. Like, let me dive in more into who Paul George is, and vice versa. As an older guy, it's like I rock with this kid, man. Let me continue to be hands on and be around him and give my support. So that's kind of just how the relationship formed, and now again, we've done deals, we've been in business opportunities, we've had fun moments, we've shared. I've been there for him when he went through his the loss of his mother. When I've been an all-star, he's been all-stars, been shared messages of congratulations. Like, we just gone on and been, in each other's corners for so long. That's just my guy now.
Yeah, I think just a interesting perspective on this is, I think is really healthy probably for both of you, both being in the NBA, to have a good friend like that in the NBA, because it's like, I'm one of your good friends, YT's one of your good friends, but we can't really relate to everything that, a professional athlete has to go through, on and off the court. So I would imagine that it's extremely healthy for the both of you, because it's like, yeah, we can give you advice, but at the same time, it's different coming from someone that's actually gone through everything you guys, have had to go through, being a professional athlete. So I think that's awesome that you have, that other relationship in your life that's, not Dallas, not YT. It's someone that's, you guys can relate on a whole lot of other things that you might not be able to get from one of us. So I think that's dope. Look, the NBA season is done, but that doesn't mean that PrizePicks is. Jackie, what's the next sport that's making you some money?
WNBA, baby. And let me tell you, I'm up big from our girl from our show, Asia Wilson. She out there getting yucky. But they don't know what I'm talking about right now. So let the people know what PrizePicks is. Dallas,
PrizePicks is a daily fantasy app. You pick 2 to 6 players like the video on your screen, then pick if they will have more or less than their PrizePicks projection. You aren't competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections available.
So look, Dallas, I know how much I won, but let the people know how much they can win at PrizePicks.
So you can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. And on top of that, all first-time users that deposit and use our promo code PODCASTP will receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100.
That means if you deposit $20, PrizePicks will give you $20. If you deposit $100, PrizePicks will give you $100. And y'all already know what time it is. Cha-ching!